This would be great for the Uber driver film that I want to work on eventually. Look at this right here. Right here, and then look at this. Isn't that great? You know, the scene where Travis Bickle is walking with Trent Driver's in the Uber driver. The name is Trent Driver, but he's walking down this way. Then you have. I'd take out some of the light though, or even here. I like the fan right there. This way. You also have some stuff that can go on right here too. When he goes up there to. Now in the Uber driver, it's Trent Driver is the guy's name, which is his rideshare name. Look at this right here. That's what he goes by. Irene is Iris. So the character's name is Irene. Isn't this great right here? So Irene is, I'll tell you, I'll pitch it too. So Irene is Iris. She's 15. She's a 15-year-old prostitute that lives in she's a high-class prostitute that lives in basically one of these places right here. So in the Uber driver, Trent Driver is the rideshare driver, but he also does delivery and things like that. And it's the exact same script as Paul Schrader wrote, word for word nearly. Copyrights. So the only thing is, it's word for word. I just changed the names on each one, and you can actually do that to a certain degree. It's pretty much the same script. Now you got to realize that Trent Driver is obsessed with Travis Bickle because he loves the film Taxi Driver. He mentions it in the movie. There's also Wizard, and he has a code name too. They all kind of have Taxi Driver names as a joke in this one area. And his is Z as in W-I, and then X-E as in Z, and then Zerd as in Wizard, Z-A-R-D. Zerd. It's I think it's and then Zerd, or something like that. But it's Mr. Wizard is what he is, and that's the only name that I keep in the Uber driver. It's Trent Driver, Irene, and then Sport. His name's Champ. So we'd have another version of Sport, but he goes by Champ. I'd get someone like Eric Lavelle or someone to play him if Eric's watching this. But he's kind of like the Harvey Keitel character, and he's Champ, and he's the pimp. He has a connection with Irene. Irene is the 15-year-old prostitute that Trent Driver, the one probably most likely played by me, rescues. There's also another character, which Sybil Shepherd's character, which her name was Betsy in Taxi Driver. That character's name would be Sybil. She would go by Sybil. Okay? She's blonde. She looks exactly like Sybil Shepherd, or she looks similar. You know, like Ella Fanning could play her or something. Real charming. So that's Sybil. And then I think that's all the characters' names. Oh yeah, there's a few other. Albert Brooks character. I'll probably just call him, Mr. Brooks or something like that. To use the actors' names, some of the actors' names, to go into the Uber driver. And I'm entitling this one called the Uber driver pitch. I like the idea of doing it in Dallas, because Dallas is kind of a new big city. Look at this, it's kind of cool right there. Dallas is kind of a big new city kind of thing. Every 1 minute someone's coming to Dallas, pretty much. It's going to be about 3 million people. Back in the 70s, it's kind of getting that way, like New York City kind of looking kind of thing. Plus, Uber is really big in this area. But, okay, here's the one thing I wanted to change. I don't think there's extreme violence like in Taxi Driver in the end. I think he goes in to rescue Irene, but he uses stun guns. It's still violent, but he's like, if you don't give up, I'm gonna electrocute yourself by holding this. So he shoots the electric prongs into him, and he's like really violent with it. But he uses stun guns rather than a real gun. I know that the other version of Taxi Driver with Joaquin Phoenix, whatever, that one was like something like "You Don't Even Know I'm Here" or something like that, or something like that, or it had a weird title, and they compared it to Taxi Driver, the guy with the hammer and all that kind of stuff. I think it was violent, but I think the violence is kind of overdone. So I think that we cut the violence at the end and we use stun guns, because there's another type of violence to that. And then maybe pepper spray. He can spray pepper on them and hit them really hard. They go down, like they spray like a lot of pepper in their face. Also like bear spray pepper. That bear spray pepper puts someone out for the night, And he has maybe a gas mask, kind of like he goes in like Batman kind of thing. Let me go around this way right here. But what I'm trying to say is that it's basically called the Uber driver. Like a lot of my films, if you follow some of my pitches, I've got one called The Projectionist. I'm going to have one called The Filmmaker, one called The Father. I have one called The Actor, one called The Comedian, right? One called The Uber Driver. And then, of course, there's from the Once in a Lifetime series, I have Banish, or also called Perish and Banish, which is about the two dogs, the Puritan times. There's this Puritan, minister type of guy that's been kicked out, or he's a Puritan in the 1600s. He's been kicked out of his village, and or his parish. And so to mock his situation, he finds these two dogs, and he names one Banish and one Perish, as kind of like he has been banished and perished, or he's been banished from his community, from his village, because of his religious beliefs. And he goes around, then all of a sudden it pulls back and you can see the filmmaker, which would be played by me. And the filmmaker's talking to the main character, which is Pastor Alan Reck, who's been kicked out of his village, of his parish. And you go into the story, and then you go back to the filmmaker talking to the actor, giving him notes. Like, look, I think the scene is working for you, right here by the river, Just wash your hands more in the river and do this. Well, okay, let's do it. Ready? And camera rolling, sound rolling, and action. Cut, turn off the sound. That kind of stuff is going on with the filmmaker in it. You don't really get to know the filmmakers that well, but it comes in and out. It's very Fellini kind of thing. Then the guy, Pastor Reck, who is part of the Once in a Lifetime series, he basically gets lost in the woods. He gets lost in his character, but he's also dealing with a witch. And I thought someone like a Diane Salinger or something. I don't know if you know who she is. I worked with her in Hollywood. She was one of my coaches, but someone with a great voice. Diane Salinger's voice is just wonderful. But she would be over my shoulder while I'm filming and whispering to Pastor Alan Reck, making him really feel creepy, to get something out of him. She's kind of like a director, a crew person. And her voice is there to creep him out, because I know she could creep people out, because she could play a witch. I always told her that. I always told Diane, I was like, Diane, you can play a witch. I think this would be a great time. And this would be a great film, too, to pitch, too. So I'm going to put this one under Uber driver pitch and Banish pitch. I'm going to call it Banish for now. All right, thank you.